Hi, welcome back to my garage, another episode of Project 100 mile an hour Kawasaki AR50. Today I get to the dyno, I get to do some runs, playing with the Ignitech, setting that BDK curve in there and seeing if I got the power that I was hoping for, which was around 14 horsepower. So without further ado, I'm going to continue with the video. As always, if you like it, give me a like, subscribe, comment if I'm doing anything wrong. And also a quick shout out to Martin Johnson, who's done the Autobeater 2T logo that's now my banner on the YouTube channel. It's really good. He's also the guy that wrote the 12 volt conversion article on Instructable. So top guy, thank you very much Martin. First BDK curve run done. It's not white, it's certainly cleaned the Sparkplug up quite a bit. I don't think we're too lean, however it's difficult to tell. I've only done a few quick runs. I'm just going to whip the head off and just have a look inside, just for safety's sake. It takes 5 minutes and then I'll try another run. First observation, yeah, it's definitely no detonation. It's obviously not been running long enough to char up, but look, this is all oil around here. My cylinder head is not sealing at all, so that is going to be losing me compression and power, so it's something I need to address. Forgot my big torch, however just having a look at the barrel, looks fine inside, no signs of anything picking up, and top of the piston looks okay. Again, no time to build up any heat to char the carbon on, but nothing untoward, so I'm going to stick it back together and give it another go. This is the current plug that I'm running, that came with the bike basically, so it's not too lean. However, I used to run these in my X7, so I'm going to give that a go. Maybe a little bit too cold, but we shall see. Okay, plug to go on. I made this little spacer ring because you don't want that hitting the top of the piston. Last thing I'm going to do tonight, because it's a fairly easy thing to do, is I'm going to take the head off again, I'm going to pull the cylinder up, I'm going to remove the base gasket, put it all back in. It may not seal as well as it should, however I just want a quick check to see what the difference is, because I'm obviously lowering the ports, I'm increasing the timing of the inlet, and I'm also increasing the compression and the squish, just to see if that has a quick win. Just gives me an idea of what the engine's thinking.
Right, after all the tests, I've overlaid everything together and I'm just going to show you through what we have. So this was the test from the very first test session with the standard ignition at the standard setting with the BDK pipe, and we ended up with 4.4 horsepower. Not a great curve. I then advanced the ignition, got it up to 6.7, but you can still see even on the standard ignition it's not good enough. Okay, then I installed the Ignitech ignition, and that's given me 10.7 now, which I was quite pleased with, but it is a bit flat. I'm not quite sure why. I'd expect to do that a bit more. However, I then changed the spark plug to a one I used to use in my race bike, a BR10 EIX, and yeah, we got a little bit more. Not massive, but what, 10.9? It might nearly hit 11 now. 10.9, we'll go with that. A bit more of the slope. Finally, I removed the base gasket, and removing the base gasket lowered the cylinder. It did lower the transfers and the exhaust. It increased the opening point of brought it more further forward for the inlet port, but I think the most important thing is it increased the compression and it reduced that squish band. So the squish band's now about 0.8. I still think it could be less. I still think we could probably have a bit more compression. However, that then gave me 11.7 horsepower, which I was quite pleased with. I was after 14, but I do think something's stopping it from going like that. And I think if it continued over, it would be about 14.
When I put this on, there is that little bit of play in there, and I think this has moved. I've put it on like that when the engine's gone round, which is effectively try to drag it that way. It's pulled up against that divot that's been put in the keyway, just from having that round location pin. As you can see, that's the divot made by the locating dowel, and when I set it to the left, then it's moved into the hole it's created. Just a little bit of play in there that can rattle around, and this has moved. The engine rotates this way, so it's going to naturally drag it, so it's going to butt up against this side. So the engine's going to drag it and it's going to sit this way, and I think I've put it in that way and then it's moved that way, which has changed the timing. So I'll put it in there, put a bit of, try and retard it, and then I'm going to put everything back on again and time it back up.
Okay, last graph we're going to look at. As we know, I made a mistake, or the rotor did slip. I lost 6 degrees of timing, and as you can see from this green line, that's what it gets you. This first curve was the cylinder as it was with the base gasket in. This is with the base gasket removed, with 6 degrees less timing as the rotor had moved, and this is it retimed up with the correct BDK curve and the timing as they specified. I have had a play as well. I've added a bit of ignition on. Didn't really make a massive amount of difference. So I think this curve is fairly good for what I've started with. Future videos, I'm going to look at building a curve from scratch. So I'll go through an iterative process to see if I can make this curve a little bit better again. Maybe fill it a little bit down here. Maybe fill this bit in here. That would be good. But so there we are, 13.7. It's probably 15.2, 15.3 on a Dyno jet, so that's a pretty good start. So now I need to find about another 7 horsepower, and I may be able to crack 100 mile an hour. So if you're interested to see if I can do it, please continue to watch, subscribe, like the videos. Cheers.